love, but baby, I found you instead.
can feel your energy, it's making me realize everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, everything we've been through makes us strong enough. You and I, you and I.
Be fun.
All right. Oh, I forgot to turn on my model, but hello everybody. Welcome to
Fade.
RFDL. Don't start with me. It's too early.
Wow,
Welcome
that's
to
my line.
RFDL.
Yeah, hold on.
No, we're not holding on. We're going straight in, guys. But today we got Fire Streak, we got Docky here. I will be here in a moment, but we are starting our day 2 of Swiss round 3 today. How are you guys doing besides it being too early?
Want to spray cranberry?
That ended yesterday, buddy.
It never ended.
The only way it's too early for you is if you do the same thing my teammate was doing yesterday and gaying too much, and thus having everything be too early. But
Is that why they weren't here for your game?
they were gaying, Fade.
I don't know what that
Well,
means.
that's an RFDL After Dark topic, which we didn't have Fire Streak around for last night, so it is nice to see y'all. And guess what? I am here? Question mark? Am I here?
No.
Am I?
No.
No, I'm not here. Oh, I'm here. He popped
Hey,
in.
there's the mouse.
I'm finally here. Welcome in everybody to RFDL. It is round 3. It is day number 2. We've got 2 matches for you today, and everything is on the line for some of these teams. Top 2 spots in playoffs are going to be played for today, and for one team in particular, their entire season lives hangs in the balance. It's going to be an excellent day of Rocket League. It's going to be very exciting. Hopefully we have some really good matches on our hands. But you guys looking forward to today?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think we're gonna finally see Reverb on max sweat mode, which is gonna be entertaining. So it's always good to see some of these players go at it.
Hey, Docky, what about you? What are you looking forward to seeing today?
Rocket League, I think.
Really?
Is that what we're playing?
I thought we were going to. I thought for round
Dude,
3, I thought we
competitive
were going to
wires
have
bar?
all these guys play rematch. So
Okay.
I thought that was the plan. They have 3s in that game now, so it works. But anyway, guys, we've got 2 matches for you today. We are going to start out with one of the most important matches of the day, I'd think, of the entire Swiss right now. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but due to seeding for Swiss and how Swiss works, we did have to move a bunch of teams around, and we found the only way that Swiss was going to work in our case was to put a 2-0 team against an OT team. That way, either one moves into playoffs and one gets eliminated, or they both stay in Swiss. So this has implications for the following rounds next week. But it is going to be FoxClan versus BDS, and I think that this is a really good time for BDS to kick it up a notch. They haven't been playing quite to their potential here in the Swiss, and with everything on the line, I think Fire said it the best. We might see Reverb sweating in this game, and we might see Meezer also doing the same, and that's a scary concept when it comes to BDS, as they've been such a strong team, even without having to go full tilt.
I mean, yeah, BDS has been a scary team pretty much all season. Ever since they got that new, I say new roster, but it's really not new at this point, is it? But ever since they changed around that early season roster they had, they seem to have been really clicking and doing well all the way up until the playoffs here. So I'm sure they'll show up and they'll give us a really good match today, especially going up against Fox Clan, who, yeah, they're a scary team. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, Docky, what do you think about the current match coming up? Who do you think has the advantage going into this one?
Oh man. I think all in all, I know like we talked about in terms of seeding, how we have to do things a little bit differently, but this is actually a pretty close matchup. I think both these teams have the ability to play really well. BDS has been kind of, I think they didn't play quite up to their standards, and they probably know that last week. So I'm sure they might want to come back and prove to themselves that they can play better than that. So I'm curious to see if we see them play, that kind of more offensive, kind of in-your-face gameplay that we know that they're capable of. We just didn't get to see it very much last week. So I'm really excited to see that. I think this will be, at the very least, extremely exciting.
Yeah, let's talk about these teams a little bit before we get into the match. Let's start with our 2-0 team. We're going to be talking a little bit about Fox Clan. They've been showing up in this Swiss. We didn't get to see them a lot during mid-season, so I'm wondering what kind of waves they could have made in that tournament. But Javian, Abyss, and Taka coming in today. And, I mean, if you're in the Discord, you might have just seen that Javian sent in a little YouTube video in the Clips channel of him hitting a very nice time on one of the rings maps. This man's been peeking in-game and in the workshop maps. He's been practicing. And, Abyss and Taka, what can we say about them? They're very, very good members of the team as well. Been doing extremely well during the Swiss. Even, I believe... what were their matches that they've had in the Swiss? They have played against Gentle Paws, and then they played against X3 Tactics, and that one went to a Game 5. And Fox Clan really showed up during that match.
I mean, yeah, that team has been playing really well lately. I mean, honestly, that first stage of Swiss was probably the best series that we're gonna get during Swiss, in my opinion. Great time. But no, for real though, I'm pretty sure on top of what you said, Fade, Javian also won his first ever SSL tourney win yesterday, if I remember right. So
yep.
Yeah, he's been really popping off lately, and I wouldn't want to play against Javian when he's popping off like that. So he also kind of carried me to the third round of what I believe was an SSL tournament. So yeah, that was a bit crazy. So yeah, he's playing well. It looks like the team's playing confidently lately, and I mean, honestly, what I'm most excited about for this team though is what car preset is Abyss gonna bring out? Because he's had the goofy car presets lately, and I want to see what he has today.
Man, Esper.
Jockey, you are just the Esper fan boy, I
love
guess.
Espers.
But, I mean, what do you think Fox Clan is doing so well in these last couple of rounds that have made them such a tough team to beat right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of really good team play and just precise offense, which I think is difficult to deal with. It's not really been, kind of like we talked about BDS, where they're just non-stop offense. It's more tactical. It seems to be more, they look for those singular moments to strike rather than kind of making the defense uncomfortable and then using that to their advantage. So it's been working out pretty well for them, I think. Their offense looked incredibly solid, as well as their defense. So, this, in my opinion, this is going to kind of be a matchup of the offense. And yeah, I am excited to see if they're still in form, if not above that, knowing now that Javian's peaking. So.
Yeah, I definitely think that's going to be really good for Fox Clan. But of course, there's going to be a very, very tough opponent that they're going against today. That's going to be Big Dragon Squad, a team that they have lost to previously in league play. They're not in the best spot right now, but we expect them to bounce back here today. Reverb, Rue the Fuzzy, and Meezer all going to be coming in, fighting for their league lives here. As we said before, they now are in a do-or-die situation. If they lose this match, they don't have any more league play games to play. There's no playoffs for them. And our third seed, who we almost thought was guaranteed to be in the playoffs, will be knocked out extremely early in this Swiss bracket. I expect these guys not to go out down without a fight. We've talked about it so much. The team passing plays between Reverb and Meezer, whenever they're on lock, we usually see like them winning their games by 3 to 4 goals even. And they're a powerhouse offense, but their defense has been lacking a little bit lately. They might need to fix that today when going up against the offense that is Fox Clan.
Yeah, I mean, they are a fairly well-rounded team. They have some really good chemistry with each other, but as much as that is true, this team more or less, not so much rely, but I think Reverb is instrumental in either setting up his teammates or putting the goals in himself, so... Yeah, I think he's, it's all going to come down to how well is Reverb playing today, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he is bringing to the table.
Yeah, I have to agree, and I think that like I said, they're known for that kind of offensive play, and we know that they can do it. It's just a matter of, are they going to come back, bounce back from that last week loss, and be able to perform up to their own standards? And I have to imagine that they will. Like I said, they've played so well all season long, and I don't think they're stopping now.
Yeah, I do think that they have a little bit of a mental battle in front of them, as well, as they are playing with their lives on the line. Meanwhile, Fox Clan, they take a loss here. They just continue on in Swiss like normal. They're not worried about anything. The most that is to gain for Fox Clan right now is a top 2 seed, which is huge. A bye in the first round of playoffs would be awesome for them. And then they also get the next week off, so they can just sit back, relax, and practice for that playoff bracket. But if they do end up losing here, they'll just go on to round 4 with BDS as well. And I mean, I feel like if you're Fox Clan, that gives you the advantage. You can kind of just play, you know, as crazy as you want. Kind of can just send everything without any like real consequences coming, unless you really just don't want to play next week. But for BDS, they're gonna need to play this a little bit carefully, because losing 3 games out of the next 5 that could possibly happen today, and then suddenly you're just not playing in the league anymore. And I definitely don't think that that's how BDS want to go out. They have not had the Swiss stage that they have wanted, with a forfeit in round 1 and then a really close game 4 series against Protogen Rebellion. How do you think BDS bounces back here against Fox Clan, guys?
I mean, I think they're going to definitely bounce back against Fox Clan, but they are bouncing back against a very tough opponent. So it's just going to be a matter of, is it enough? You know, I'm sure they're going to play well, but I think Fox Clan is also going to play well. So it should be a close quarters knife fight of a series, and I'm certainly excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have their work cut out for them. So But I mean, if there's anywhere, I think they would. I think a challenge is probably good for them. I do think
Oh,
that
no.
they're up for it. Oh, what happened?
It's all good.
Oh, everything all right?
Is it all good though, Fade? Is it? But on that note, Ducky.
What's
I'm here.
up?
I
I'm here.
guess-
I'm here.
Okay. Take it, Fade. I didn't know where to go from here. I'm gonna be honest.
Honestly,
It's
I
too
couldn't.
early.
My Bluetooth disconnected on my headphones. I couldn't hear anything that Docky said. So,
Wow. Wow.
yeah. So
Want
I
to start,
don't.
Cranberry?
I mean,
Yeah.
I
absolutely.
heard that mice have selective hearing, so this isn't exactly surprising.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is anyway. But we are waiting for one more person to join into the lobby, and then we will be ready to get started here. But I do gotta ask. So, do you expect to see BDS playing a bit more of a defensive game today, or do you expect them to be playing that high octane offense that we know from, based on the situation at hand?
If I know anything about this BDS roster, them having their backs against the wall right now is just gonna make them even more offensive. Like, that is the way they like to play, and if they're gonna go out, they're gonna go out their way. They're not gonna revert to, or not revert, but they're not going to settle into a play style that isn't theirs.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like I said, I don't think they're done at this point. I think they want to come back and prove that they're as good as everyone remembers or as everyone has seen, and that they're able to continue that level of performance that we know that they can do.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see that today. It's gonna be a very tough one, as we keep reiterating. I mean, Fox Clan is not a team that you can take very lightly, especially with the results that they have had throughout the Swiss. And as we said, Javian last night was popping off. So we're gonna have to see exactly how they play and how they kind of how that factors into the team rotations. Usually we see Javian a little bit more reserved than I'm used to seeing him. Maybe with him popping off, he might take more of the foreground and be more of that first man attacking style that I'm more used to seeing. What do you guys think? Do you think Javian's gonna be have a confidence boost from yesterday?
I think Javian always plays confidently, but yeah, I think he's anytime he's with Taka in particular, he's going to be passing it a bit more, just because that's how those two synergize together. But I don't know. I think Javian just gonna play his game and it's gonna work out well.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, well, we finally have our last player here in the lobby, so we're about to get started. But before we do, it's time for predictions, guys. Who do you think is going to win here? Is it going to be Fox Clan taking this win and going into playoffs, or are we going to keep Fox Clan and BDS in the Swiss with a BDS win? Firestreak, you go ahead and go first.
So I think these teams are very evenly matched. However, I think one of these two situations that these two teams are in requires a bit more urgency than the other. And I think that's going to motivate one team to play just that little bit better. And that's why I'm going to give this one to BDS in 5.
Dang.
What about you, Docky?
Man, I don't want to set the potential for a death curse, but I also kind of am leaning in that direction where I think BDS has the advantage here, fighting for their lives. I think they would prefer to stay in Swiss and have the chance to do so here and now. I do think BDS is going to come out swinging in this one, so I have a feeling they'll get a little bit of an advantage there, or at least that's what would be I think their main goal, I think if they're able to do that, they could take this pretty handily. Obviously, it's not going to be super one-sided. FoxClan is very good, but I do think this one goes to 4. I think we see BDS win this one.
All right. Well, that's 2 for BDS here. I feel like I would be a curse on them if I also went ahead and did that. But you guys are lucky because I'm saying FoxClan here. I think FoxClan does have what it takes. They've been playing Swiss very well. Davian has been popping off in the game, in workshop maps, and in tournaments. He's probably playing with a confidence that we haven't seen from him all season long. Add Taka and Abyss to that, and this is a deadly roster who could easily make it past any team in this league. I'm giving it to FoxClan in 4, but let's go ahead and get this one started, guys. Gonna be the first match of the day and probably one of the most important matches of the entire Swiss. Gonna be FoxClan versus BDS with us today. One of these teams could make playoffs, or both of these teams could get into Swiss round 4. Let's see who it's gonna be. Fire, let's get started here. Going into game number 1. As we said, BDS has a task ahead of them. Are they going to be able to take down this top seed in FoxClan? Already seeing a little bit of pressure from Big Dragon Squad to start off the game. As you said, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of attack and offense coming from this team in particular, but they're going to need to make sure not to push too hard, as FoxClan will be able to take any counterattack and put it into the back of the net with Fire. What are you expecting to see from the start of this game?
The first thing that stood out to me is we have Reverb in a Fennec. And if I remember right, that is like as much as he can sweat in any car, the Fennec is his like the sweat car for him. So I think we're gonna get Reverb on his A game today, and that's certainly an exciting proposition. But then also Abyss, Volkswagen Golf GTI. Pretty nice. But I like it Abyss. But I mean, ultimately, I think we're gonna get a good game. See, it's kind of just no like clear attacking opportunities so far in this match, but neither team really giving up possession easily, which is causing this kind of ping pong back and forth. So I think it's going to be a good match, and we'll see who's able to get some good attacking opportunities first.
Abyss almost had an opportunity there. You can see both teams kind of just playing this a little patient, trying to suss out one another's attacking style and how this game is going to go. It seems to be working out a little bit well. Taka maybe having a little bit of internet issues if he gets disconnected from the party mid-game. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but Meezer coming in with that first goal, and that's going to be a first one for BDS.
Yeah, that's just a little bit of an unfortunate pop-up by FoxClan there. Just kind of popped the ball up into the air in front of their net, and no one else had the boost to be able to cover for that, which is going to give Meezer a fairly routine shot right there. But I mean, Abyss getting the kickoff goal right there. That's just a really good kickoff by Javian, and then Abyss just really good on the hard sheet to put that in the back of the Big Dragon Squad net. 1-0.
That is crucial for FoxClan to be able to get such a quick counterattack. Get this right back to even, like nothing ever happened. And Abyss getting that first goal, that's going to bring a lot of momentum to FoxClan. If you have your lowest rank scoring that first one, you know that there's a very good chance that those higher ranks are going to be able to put some in the back of the net as well. We're going to have to see which team can do so first. Is Javian going to be able to take this out of his corner, but gets bumped off of the play now? Through the fuzzy, going to be up for this ball. Tries to put it center. Meezer playing in the Jeep over here. Going to be getting a good 50. Back over to Reverb. Reverb, quick turn on this ball for the 50. Does get it past Abyss. Abyss maybe a little bit too far forward, and Reverb gonna get a second goal for BDS off of this pinch.
Yeah, that's a really, really solid follow-up by Reverb. He's just in the perfect position to be able to follow that up as quickly as he needs to, and that's gonna allow him to slap that home 9 out of 10 times. So we'll play to Reverb to be able to put that one in the back of the net. But now we have Reverb trying to take it off the sidewall, popping it high over the Fox Clan net. And that's going to allow for a follow-up from Meezer. Javian clearing that out, leaving Rue the Fuzzy to stall this in the midfield. Reverb needing to get a save there. Fairly easy save for him, but still in the right position to get that save. Taka with the 50 towards midfield. Reverb trying to follow it up, but Javian's there to shut that down. Taka popping it over the BDS net. That's going to end up just getting pinched all the way back to the Fox Clan side. And Meezer is going to take the awkward bounce off a back wall and put that home. BDS up by 2.
You can see Abyss trying to get that double tap read. Unfortunately, can't get their car up to the ball in time. And that just gives a really good angle for Meezer. Big Dragon Squad now up by 2. And if you're a Big Dragon Squad fan, want to see them continue on into round number 4, this is exactly what you want to see. However, Foxland not going to go down without a fight. Javian going to clear this over to Abyss in midfield. Abyss can't quite get their car on the ball here. And Meezer going to be able to take this one out past Taka. It's going to be Abyss having to save this ball. Very awkward situation for Fox Clan as Javian has to take this over to the sidewall. Gets it past through the Fuzzy, but not too far. As an immediate turnaround on that is going to keep this in the Fox Clan corner. Less than a minute remaining in game number 1, and this BDS squad is looking a lot better than what we were seeing against Progen Rebellion last week.
Yeah, they definitely are playing a lot better, and I mean, it makes me wonder if having Reverb and Static in the same lobby together will 100% of the time just cause a little bit more of a less focused game coming out from this Big Dragon Squad team because of the Reverb Static duo being in the same lobby. But then we had we had Rue kind of cheated up a bit too far there. He's able to get back for that, though. Reverb needing to clear this into his own corner, trying to progress it upfield, unable to get it past Javian, though. Meezer going for the save from midfield, but is unable to get there in time. And that's going to allow Javian to bring this game back within 1. Foxman's not out of it yet.
That's an excellent goal from Javian, just going up super quick for that, not allowing any time on the ball for Rue the Fuzzy as he tries to clear that out. And now we need to see a good kickoff coming out from Foxland, and this might not necessarily be it, but Javian does get possession. It's just going to be Reverb in the back, pass over to Javian and Abyss, but they both go for it. That's going to be the end of the game as Meezer is going to put in a final one, and BDS is going to be able to take game number 1, but that was a close call for BDS there.
If you're BDS, you definitely don't want to see it get that close towards the end of the game there. But ultimately, they were able to put another ball in the net, which is kind of one for the road for them. Maybe one that can kind of give them a little bit of momentum going back in their way as we head into this game 2, which I think this series may be determined by momentum. We'll need to see if BDS is able to keep the momentum in their favor after a little bit of a scary finish to that game.
Yeah, and that was really close from Foxland, but just not able to get that goal in the way. And they did have Reverb back, and he did make an excellent save on that goal line, which we were expecting to happen. Just the follow-up from Meezer, getting that 2-goal lead at the end there. That's definitely going to do a little bit for the confidence of BDS, knowing that they were able to beat Fox Clan by a couple of goals, even though that last one was scored at 0 seconds. Any goal still counts if it hasn't hit the ground. But if you are Fox Clan, you're going to have to figure out a way to get through this defense that is Big Dragon Squad pretty quickly, or you're going to be looking at match point here at the end of game 2. We'll have to see how they adapt as everybody is getting into the lobby, and we are going to start game number 2 of this series.
Yeah, and certainly going to be a good one, Fade, as last game was. Neck to neck all the way through this game is what I'm looking to see from this Fox Clan team. Now Reverb trying to take it up into the air, unable to get the ball, or unable to get his car quite as far off the ground as I'm sure he was hoping for. Meezer trying to pass it mid, but now a little bit of awkwardness from the BDS side, and Taka is going to put in a double tap to get it past Rue the Fuzzy.
And that's an excellent touch there from Abyss. No one expecting that ball to be popped so high in the air. And Taka just in the perfect position to take that off the backboard and double that back down. Only Rue the Fuzzy and net. That's definitely going to be a scary sight for you if you are Rue the Fuzzy, seeing Taka coming up for that ball. But no one was expecting that, so you definitely got to give credit to Abyss on that pass. And that's something they've been doing so well, but this is not where Fox Clan is doing the best here. It's these defensive opportunities, and they just keep missing it. Taka gets a good touch on the ball, but Abyss doesn't think Taka's going to have it and challenges prematurely. That's going to allow a shot from Rue the Fuzzy to go right into the back of the net, and only after a couple of seconds, we're all tied up again.
Yeah, and that's a tough position to be in if you are Abyss, because if you stay back in your net there, you have no momentum, which makes it a bit difficult to defend against any sort of attack from BDS. But if you come out of the net there, that's also a bit scary too, as we see some great defense from BDS. Now counterattack opportunity. Meezer trying to get that on, and Meezer is going to get that on. Was not easy to get that ball back on frame, but Meezer is able to keep their momentum up enough just to be able to just barely get back to that ball and put it in the back of the Fox Clan net. Yet another counterattack goal for BDS.
And a little bit of too offensive positioning from Taka there. Javian didn't really have any boost to speak of, and the mid boost didn't spawn either. Another shot possibly going in from Meezer, but it is going to be saved on the goal line early. And BDS is definitely playing at a much faster pace than Fox Clan is putting down right now. Definitely giving BDS the advantage in this game number 2. They're going to have to counter this pretty quickly as Reverb going to look for a low shot, goes underneath the defense, and BDS up by 2.
Yeah, it's really good awareness from Reverb to identify that Taka is maybe playing the high shot right there, but Reverb just puts that low, puts it in easy, simple, and that's going to just give him another goal. Well played to Reverb to just slot that past the defense. Taka, a bit low on boost, but is able to get a touch towards middle, but Meezer is going to be there to shut that down. Meezer with the dunk on Javian, going to allow for a bit of a switch of field possession in favor of BDS. Reverb trying to get a 50 in the midfield, unable to get good enough to get Javian off the ball. Taka with the redirect and just off. Maybe Daki might have forgotten to take off the magnets on the crossbar there from yesterday based off of that shot, because that's a little bit of another crossbar ping. Now Reverb trying to take the ball into the middle of the field for Meezer, but Reverb blocks Meezer's shot right there, so that's not going to end up in the net. Now Meezer with a big pinch, and that's just going to cause the ball to pop out into the midfield. Taka clearing it forward to Javian. Javian putting a shot forward, but it's just off. And after all that, no change in score, but we see tons of pressure coming out from this Fox Clan team.
We're seeing a lot of pressure, but we're also seeing a very big lack of communication coming out from Fox Clan right now. Very unlike them, a lot of double commits, a lot of jumping when teammates shouldn't be, and a lot of overcommitting from more than one player on each ball. It just seems like they're not on the same page for anything that's coming up, and as we've seen, some of their shots just going a little bit by the wayside here. Fox Clan going to need to fix this fast if they want to come back in this game number 2. Now, a chance here as Taka tries to get that over to the center of the field, but no one was going to be there from Fox Clan to take that over after the pass was given out. Now, Reverb playing the flow game, faking it past 2 of the Fox Clan members, up to Taka to clear this out. Now, Javian over to Taka, tried to get back to Javian, but it's just going to go into the hands of BDS once again. It just seems like Fox Clan, they have ideas, but they're not able to get anything really going off the ground here.
No, they are not. They just have a little bit of that shooting bug that we saw from some of the teams yesterday. They try to launch another attack. Javian trying to get that down. A demo, but I think it was Meezer was back to make that save. Reaver trying to progress this forward, getting a demo on Taka. Charging forward to try to get another demo. Through the fuzzy, trying to put a shot on that. Unable to get it past the defense though. Taka trying to control this onto the BDS side. Unable to get any effective pressure though, and I mean, despite Foxden having a ton of pressure in this match, they don't seem to be able to put any effective shots on net, which is a little bit unfortunate if you are a Fox Clan fan. And with only less than 30 seconds left on the clock now, if Fox Clan wants to come back in this game, they're going to need to do so fast.
And as I said, I think it's a lot of that is just the lack of communication, the lack of boost on the side of Fox Clan that is leading to these stagnant attacks on the BDS net. Every single time they get forward, it just seems like the entire BDS squad has had time to rotate in and get into position to get a save. The Fox Clan not really having the success that we've been seeing from them throughout the rest of the Swiss stage. And they are now going to be up against triple match point for BDS here as they're looking for a sweep, and another goal gonna go in 0 seconds for BDS. 3-goal game at the end of this. Fox Clan gonna need to figure out something, or else they're gonna be getting swept here.
Yeah, this is definitely not how Fox Clan wanted this series to start off. Being on triple match point now, we've seen it before in Swiss, that just because you lose the first 2 games, that does not mean you are out of this series. We saw it yesterday, we saw it the last week. Reverse sweeps are possible, and I'm sure Fox Clan will be doing their best to try to get another one of those in this Swiss.
Yeah, you got to be right about that. I mean, the hardest game to win is the one to win the entire series, and BDS is going to have a tough time in this 3rd game, but when they're playing like this, it just seems inevitable that they're going to win the series. They just seem to know Fox Clan's numbers so well in this game. Every single time they go for a pass, every single time they go for a shot, there's just somebody in the way. And Fox Clan are going to need to figure out what to do to get past that for BDS. Maybe a little bit of physical play might be what Fox Clan needs, but they aren't really much of a physical team, so I'm not sure if they'll be able to pull that off. We'll have to wait to see what they do as we get into game number 3.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, this game, I'm definitely going to be looking for Fox Clan to have a bit more of a physical play style. They need to open up those opportunities through that BDS defense to try to give themselves better opportunities to put shots on net, because they've just been really struggling to do that so far. But as we start the game, we see some early possession from Fox Clan as they try to get a midfield pass, which is their bread and butter, but they're just unable to finish it once again, and it's very surprising because that is exactly what they like to do in order to give themselves opportunities, is get those midfield passes going, and they aren't finding quite as much luck with it today, Fade, and I'm wondering if potentially changing up their tactics might be beneficial for them.
I definitely think that's in the cards. BDS knows that that's what Fox Clan like to do. They're probably defending that extremely well, as we've seen a few of them get past the defense, but not really in opportune places. Meanwhile, Reverb going to be looking for an infield pass play himself. That might be going in. Meezer gets another goal for Big Dragon Squad, and you gotta feel for Javian here. He's so close to this, but has to turn on the ball. Just can't get high enough without the boost. That's gonna be the first one for Big Dragon Squad. Less than a minute into game number 3, and now with the lead once again, they're looking to sweep. Fox Clan going to have to try their best here to come back from this, but it just seems like this Fox Clan squad not playing up to their full potential today. Now Meezer off the back wall. It's going to go over to Reverb, who's just going to clear it right back to Meezer. No one's up for the challenge, and Reverb gets a second goal. You know what they say in RLCS here, Fire? Hand down, man down. Well, you need to get someone up for that quicker.
Yeah, somebody's got to jump for that quicker. I believe they were all kind of low on boost, which is a little bit the cause for that hesitation right there. And maybe just a bit better boost conservation is what FoxClan needs on their defensive half in order to try to keep some of these shots out of their net. Javian trying to pass it middle. Taka able to get the angle! And Taka, that's kind of a nuts shot right there. That's good to see FoxClan not skipping a beat on that offensive side, even after giving up the second goal of the game.
That was a crucial goal for FoxClan there. They needed to find a way to get on the board in this game number 3, get some momentum onto the team, and this might be another opportunity, but Javian can't put it on net, not realizing that no one was back in defense for BDS here. Now, Abyss tries to steal the corner, but misses on that, and Meezer, who grabs that corner, is able to take it out. Now it's going to be Reverb. Just Abyss in the back line again. This is going to be a precarious spot for them. Taka double committing with that bouncing ball, going to be off to the side of the goal. But BDS is taking their shots where they can, and they just seem to be unstoppable on that FoxClan third. 3-1 for BDS now.
Yeah, and this is exactly what we've seen from BDS all season long. Just unstoppable offense. They just always seem to be putting pressure on the offensive side of the ball. And it's really, really hard to deal with, even if you have really solid defense. Now, a double commit from BDS, maybe the downside of that sort of play style, as once again, FoxClan trying to go for a midfield pass right there, but there wasn't enough spacing between their two offensive players there. And I've seen quite a bit of that this series, and it's partially why these midfield passes just aren't connecting for them. Reverb trying to advance this down the field. Abyss on the defense. That's a good flick though, and Reverb is able to put that one home, and FoxClan in dire situation right here.
I have to agree, less than half the game left, down by 3. They haven't been looking good this entire series right now for FoxClan, but I will say they're not playing bad. It's just that BTS is playing at a level I don't think we've seen from them this entire season long. We did expect them to try and pull this upset out in this game, try to cause a round 4 for both of these teams, and it's looking more than likely that that is going to be the case. As Meezer going to get the doink off of the sidewall. 5-1 BDS. These guys are on fire.
Yes, it's completely unstoppable right now, and it's a bit scary to see them playing this well. They just have so much pressure on offense, and this is kind of what we became accustomed to seeing them do during league play. Didn't see it from them last week against Trojan Rebellion, but this is more of them kind of returning to form, which is really good to see if you are a BDS fan. There's no better time for them to do it other than now, because they very much needed that if they want to extend their Swiss stage of life right here. But Javian giving us a quick reminder that it is not quite over. I mean, 30 seconds a goal is not easy by any means, but it's not impossible.
Not impossible, and that's a really good shot from Javian, getting the bump to start that play. And it seems like bumps are the right way to go for this FoxClan squad, but they need to start off quick, as it might be too little too late if they cannot get any offensive opportunities going soon. Now, Javian over to Taka, over to Abyss, who gets the touch on it, but through the fuzzy in the right spot. And you also saw Reverb jumping up for that save as well. I think one of them would have had their cars on it if the other didn't. But this defense from BDS has been so well, and that is not what you want to see if you're a FoxClan fan. Big Dragon Squad up by 4 once again. Just an unfortunate touch off of Abyss's car.
Yeah, that is just really unfortunate. I think that was going in anyways, to be fair, but Yeah, Abyss just caught slightly too far forward right there, and that's going to allow BDS to put one more on the board, and really, I don't think there's much hope for Fox Clan at this point. The hole is a little bit too deep to dig themselves out of, and BDS is just playing too well right now. And I mean, right now, if BDS is able to keep this up, I think they will definitely have a chance to be able to climb their way back into playoff position. Now, Fox Clan potentially wanting to just get a little bit of momentum that they could carry into their next match, but BDS making sure that doesn't happen, as Meezer is able to put yet another one in the back of the net, and I mean, Fade, this is truly scary to see.
Not just scary for Fox Clan, it's scary for every 1 and 2 team that is in the field right now, as BDS could play any one of them, especially with this sweep coming out. If you're a 1 and 2 team, you are going to have to watch out for BDS here in round number 4, as they're looking to take any team on right now. And with a sweep over Fox Clan, they keep themselves alive. They both move on to round 4. We're only going to get one team moving into playoffs today, and BDS keep themselves alive in the Swiss with a sweep over Fox Clan.
Yeah, that's just a really strong showing from BDS. Fox Clan was not playing poorly at all, but I mean, BDS just looking completely unstoppable in that series, and I don't think there's really anything more to be said on that one, because that's just a really great showing.
All I can say on that is that BDS looks like one of the scariest teams right now. They might be 1 and 2 right now in the Swiss, and I think that's exactly where they needed to be. I think getting that do or die mentality is the best thing that could happen for this team right now, as they are playing the best Rocket League I think that we've seen from them since league play. And as I said, if you are a 1-2 team right now, you are praying that the seeding goes in your favor and that you do not play BDS next week, because if they play like that again, you might be saying goodbye to your playoffs lives there. I mean, my goodness. But that being said, we have one more match for you guys today. BDS does stay in, and so does Fox Clan, but we have at least one team moving on to playoffs today. Is it going to be Dignipause or is it going to be Lumimosity? Stick with us, and after the break, we're going to find out.
wish that we could go back before you got hurt. When before I was scared, now I'm feeling prepared. Don't you wanna feel good? Don't you wanna feel good?
When you say you were leaving, I thought that you meant it. I played the victim, you starred as indifferent. Hindsight comes standard with rose-colored lenses. Hate to admit it, you're better off. Now you're too afraid to look, too scared to miss it. We're night and day, solar eclipses. Too afraid to look, too scared to miss it. We're night and day, solar eclipses. Solar eclipses. Solar eclipses.
Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can start again. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can start it.
Maybe feeling change, I could be better. All the reasons why we've been separate ways. Feeling all alone in your company. Keeping you captive with guilty chains.
We're night and day, solar eclipses. Too afraid to look, too scared to miss it. We're night and day, solar eclipses. Solar eclipses. Solar eclipses.
Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can start again. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can start again.
Tomorrow we build. Depends on the future we want, we can make it as real. Maybe we will go, give up the ego. Making it feel good. Too scared to just let it go. Too scared to just let it go. Tomorrow we build. Depends on the future we want, we can make it as real. Maybe we will go, give up the ego. Making it feel good. Too scared to just let it go. Too scared to just let it go.
Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can start again. Caught up in your gravity, always end up lost in your wake. Intoxicated, maybe we can start again. We can start again. We can start it.
Can you feel it? The fire in your soul, leaping at the chance for love. Can you feel it? Haunting your senses, letting all your feelings go. But I can feel it rushing through my veins. Your love's the only drug I know. But we've been playing
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to RFDL Swiss Round 3 Docky. We just watched BDS sweep Fox Clan to stay alive in the Swiss bracket. That was absolutely incredible.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, they're looking like a very scary team. And we're looking at some of these potential matchups coming up here on the Swiss bracket sheet. And I will say, it's not necessarily looking good for me right now. So this is going to be very interesting. We do have one more match to go today, though, before we have our final setup for who's going to be playing in this round number 4. I will say we are going to have a situation similar to BDS's in this next round, as well as there is going to be now 4 games, I believe, instead of or 5 games instead of 3 games or 4 games in this round number 4. We are going to have a 1-2 team playing against a 2-1 team in the same fashion as it was for round 3. We will be taking the lowest 2-1 team in the standings against the top 1-2 team in the lower part. So right now it is looking like that's going to be funny enough, Fox Clan again versus Black Bunny Gaming. But we have to finish this last match and get everything going one more time, just to make sure we got everything right here before we actually move forward with that. We have some stat checkers going through all the game differential and making sure everything is perfect for everybody before we actually come out with those official matchups, which we will have before we end the stream today. We will be coming out with those. And also a reminder that round 4 and round 5 will both be played next weekend. All round 4 will be taking place on Saturday, and round 5 will be taking place on Sunday. So make sure that if you are playing in those rounds, you are prepared for possibly 2 days of games coming next week. Obviously, we'll make it so you only have to play 1 round a day, so you're not playing multiple series in one day. But that being said, we have one more match for you guys before we end round 3, and that is going to be Dignipause and Lumimosity. And this is going to be for a playoff spot. The winner here is going to go into playoffs with the number 1 seed. And that's got to be exciting for both these teams, Stocky.
Yeah, it's kind of this is kind of the ability where you give yourself that little break, a little bye week. Yeah, this is a tough matchup as well. So I think both of these teams would like to get that little break there for sure.
Yeah, I agree. A break would be nice for either of these teams. Basically just a bye week. No worries about where they're going to be in the bracket, and they get a bye into the first round. That being said, though, with BDS winning this game, it also means that next week, the 2nd seed and another bye in round number 1 of playoffs will be up for grabs. So just losing here doesn't necessarily mean that the battle for the top will be over. If you can at least take this to a game 5, make sure your game differential is higher than everybody else's going into that round 4, you have a very good chance at taking away that 2nd seed from any other teams that are competing for it. So that's going to be extremely interesting to see how that's going to go next week. But I'm sure Dignipause and Lumimosity have their eyes set on this match in front of them right now. It's going to be a very, very interesting series that we have on our hands here. Both teams have been playing out of their minds during the Swiss stage. What do you think about both of the teams coming into this, Docky?
Yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, obviously Dignipause having beaten me last week, and Sylvia hitting SSL very recently. I mean, Lumimosity's been playing really good, but they definitely have kind of a task here ahead of them. They kind of were, I would say, a little bit lucky, I want to say, last week. I mean, to be fair, they played very well, but they were given an opportunity, I think, to stay alive in that 2-0 last week, and obviously that went a long way for them. So I think, obviously having that kind of be the kind of thought that's been in our heads here, where okay, well they reverse swept, but they were given some opportunities. I think they want to come out here and prove that it wasn't just a fluke and that they are as good as they know that they are. And I know Aerolax is definitely going to be wishing for that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to see what both of these teams have for us today. Let's go ahead and start talking about these guys coming in today. Let's start off with our top seed right here. It is going to be Dignipause, and they recently went through a change, bringing in Infernal, and we also have Sylvie and Nova here. And this team is really strong. All of these players have been peaking. Sylvie hit SSL. Infernal has been playing out of their mind. I think they've been hitting some high level too, and so is Nova. And I believe all these guys together, they create a very, very strong offense. Maybe not as strong as the BDS offense that we might have seen earlier, but when they're all playing at their peak, I would say that they're probably equal to that BDS level of offense.
Yeah, I agree. There's just so many weapons. I think no one really has a major advantage. I guess what I mean by that is that no one really is their main shot taker, I guess I should say. I mean, obviously Sylvie's very good, but all three of them tend to be in that position to take those shots. I mean, Nova getting a lot of really important goals, really crucial goals for Dignipause, and so that kind of talent alongside with them kind of being flexible in their roles, I think makes them a very difficult team to go up against.
Yeah, I have to agree. They have such mechanical ability. However, I will say something that I've always seen from Dignipause, although it has been happening less and less frequently, is just their ability to not necessarily play at their highest peak when they go up a couple of games in the series. They start letting off the gas, so to speak. And there have been a couple of times, unfortunately for them, where that has bit them in the tail end, and they've ended up losing series after going up 2-0. It's definitely always a chance, and I think playing against this other team here in Lumimosity, that is definitely something that you're going to have to watch out for, as Aerolax, Avid, and Levi come in today looking hungry for that first seed, and they're going to be playing some of the best Rocket League I think that we've seen from them as well. And if you're not going to want to troll at all if you're Dignipause, or you're going to be in for a rude awakening real quick.
Yeah, this team is very good at making opportunities, making those counterattacks, getting the defense a little bit more awkward, and I'm sure they would like to be. And Aerolax recently hitting GC2 in threes, which it might not be that impressive for some of the high ranked players, but for someone like Aerolax, who prior to this season really didn't know how to play threes, that's a big deal. So coming into this matchup, finally, after all this time, having learned threes rotations, if you're Dignipause, you got to be a little bit scared, I think.
Yeah, I think that this is definitely going to be a battle of the top teams right now, especially in the Swiss. We didn't expect to see both of these teams up in the top at the start, but here they are. And I think that both teams are just going to need to try and play their game the best that they can, and see how that goes. Docky, what do you think? Who do you think has the advantage coming into today?
Oh, man, I mean, I want to say that I think that Lumosity has the slight edge, I think, coming off of a really, really good feeling victory in that reverse sweep last week. But, man, Dignipause has been so strong as of recently. And if they're going to continue to play as well as they've been playing and taking this, with that little bit more of a sweatier mindset, which I think has been working for them, that advantage, I think, has to go their way just a tad bit. But both of these teams, I think, have some aces up their sleeves for sure.
Yeah, I think, oh, that was weird. Yeah, I don't know. I just heard a random noise coming from you, Docky, but it's all good. I do think that Dignipause comes in here with the advantage, I think. I think that the skill ceiling for those players are a little bit higher than the skill ceiling on Lumimosity, but when you put it to paper that says one thing. When it comes to experience, we've seen Aerolax in these sort of positions before. Last season, he was in the lower ranks in RFDL Season 0, and he pulled his team back up to become one of the top teams in the region. He's definitely going to want to play for that first seed in playoffs, especially given the unfortunate way that his previous team last season got knocked out of playoffs. I think he's going to play with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder today because of that. And when it comes to predictions, I'm just going to start us off. And I'm saying because of that fact, I'm giving it to Lumosity in 4. I think that they are going to be coming out strong. I think they're going to come out fast. I think Dignipause might underestimate them a little bit. And I think that's going to be what is their downfall here in this round number 3. What about you, Docky?
Oh man, I hate to agree with you on that. I think that there is a chance that we're gonna have some underestimating here from Dignipause. It's gonna allow Lumosity to get a slight edge early on. However, this is Dignipause we're talking about, and I don't think I've ever rooted against this team. I've always been in their corner, and I will continue to be up until this point. I think that Lumosity might start off strong, but Dignipause will finish stronger. I think Dignipause takes this one in 4.
All right, and before we get started, we will have our guest. You can't see him here, but Fire is back real quick. Let's ask Fire what his thoughts on the matchup is and his prediction going into this one. Fire?
Sylvie buff.
Okay.
Sylvie buff. It's going to be in effect. Dignipause. In 5.
All right, so we've got 2 for Dignipause. We've got 1 for Lumosity, but we're just going to have to let the players play, as we always say, get them on the field, see what happens next. Guys, it's time for our last match of round number 3. It's going to be Dignipause and Lumosity, both of them fighting for that number 1 seed in playoffs. Let's see who has what it takes to get all the way to the playoffs today and who gets a bye week next week. Let's get going immediately. As it says 3-0, that is not the correct scoreline. NA Production already working wonders to get that reset real quick. And let's get started on this one, Docky.
I'm excited. This is teams having the ability to just move on to playoffs. Both teams wanting to start strong. And well, I talked about Dignipause might be underestimating as Lumosity starting off 15 seconds in already, and we already have our first goal. We might have a barn burner here on our hands if it continues at this pace, but rather, nonetheless, Lumosity up 1 this early on, and that looking pretty good so far.
Definitely a good start for Lumosity. You saw an opportunity for Dignipause coming out pretty quickly, but it was shut down by the defense. And Avid finding that straight line drive for the counterattack. It's going to be very good to start their game off. And the players I'm going to be looking at right now, it's not going to be Sylvie or Infernal, nor is it going to be Aerolax and Avid. I'm wanting to see the type of defense that Levi and Nova are going to put on. And as I say that, Levi put in a tough position here. Sylvie gets it past 2, has the boost from mid, and just has a clean double into the back of the net. And I think whichever team is able to utilize their third in defense more effectively is going to be able to take this series. So far, it's even on both sides as we get not even a minute into game number 1.
Yeah, and part of the game plan for here for both teams is really going to be shutting down that major factor. I mean, you got Lumosity's Aerolax tends to be that for them, but on Dignipause, it's definitely going to be Sylvie. Someone that can just kind of float over, read the ball off of the backboard, and just double tap it in pretty easily. And that's something that you got to be worried about here when you're going up against a team like Dignipause. You don't want to give those opportunities to them, but I mean, how are you supposed to really defend that? It's kind of difficult to tell if someone's going to be able to not only read that, but get to it in time. Regardless, so it still is that tie game. Definitely have the chance here to take that momentum back, though, if you're Lumosity, but you really don't want to be given early momentum here. Dignipause, because like you said, they tend to be a little bit more on the underestimating side of things, which is sometimes why they take that foot off the gas later on in the series if they do go down. I think I'll do that here, though. This is another really good play between Sylvie and Infernal. The pass to bump, and oh, that goal's in Dignipaw's side now, and they have that advantage.
And Slump Fernal coming in here. It seems like his mentality might be a little bit the same as it was last week, but they ended that week off with a win. If they're looking to do the same today, he might say he's in a slump, but Infernal playing some really good Rocket League nonetheless. Excellent shot coming out from them. And Sylvie with a very, very powerful pinch downfield. You're just not going to have to let Sylvie get that much time on the ball. They can do whatever they want with it given enough time. And that's not what you're going to want to allow for Dignipaws. If you let them play their game, they're a very high octane team, very aggressive. They're going to find a lot of different ways to put it in the back of your net. And one thing about Sylvie is they are very creative on that attacking third as well, trying to find the most unique ways to put it into the net. And it works out most of the time, so you do not want to let them get too far ahead. Now, a counterattack opportunity followed up by a psycho attempt from Sylvie. And what was I just saying about creative plays, Docky? This person, Sylvie, they just have it all.
It's kind of crazy too, because we're looking at a play that's kind of been a little bit quiet all throughout league play. Didn't really do too much in terms of the fancy gameplay, but you get to this point in the Swiss, right, where now they're peaking, they've hit SSL, and suddenly they look a lot more dangerous. And if you're on the other side of that, you have to be so worried every single time somebody seems to be on the ball. It looks like something that might spell disaster for you. It's still that 1-goal game. I talked about earlier how it was a tie. Of course, after I said that, it did go Dignipaw's way, but with just over a minute and a half, hitting a minute 40, there's more than enough time here to tie this one. They just have really struggled. Like, Lumosity has really struggled here to get any sort of offensive momentum. They've had a few looks at the net, but nothing really too dangerous. So Alex might wait for this one, but doesn't get a touch on the ball. That's going to leave Sylvie a chance to do something here. Not get the dunk on Avid. Again, though, if you're Dignipaws, you're really fine to see this ball just bounce around. Every single time the ball just dances in the midfield, tends to be more time off the clock, and with that goal lead, they really don't need to do too much. Lumosity really needs to start getting some momentum here, though, for sure.
Gonna be another chance for Dignipaws in front of the net as Sylvie tries to put the rebound back in. Now Avid going to be taking this ball. Big name change today from Avid, going away from the old Gravid name title that he has been rocking this entire league. Wonder if that's a mental thing, or maybe he just decided it was time to change it back now that the league is starting to hit its ending period. Now trying to get a goal here for Lumosity, but Sylvie gonna be the first one to that. Booming it downfield for Nova. Aeroax takes possession, but it's only gonna go as far as Infernal. 30 seconds left. Dignipaws still up by 1 and looking to make that 2.
Yeah, and it's just been all Dignipaws. It feels like the majority of this game, they haven't really been able to press the issue at all, as this one's going to go all the way in, and that's going to secure the win for Dignipaws, surely. That 2-goal lead. And enough of a nice little power play there from Sylvie. No one on the side of Lumosity is expecting that. And I'm not sure why, to be honest with you. I mean, that's Sylvie on the backboard. You have to know that he's just going to bang that back. I think maybe they were a little bit hopeful that he would have mistouch there, but again, when it comes to these key players, these marquee players you're up against, you really need to expect them to get those touches. They're more than likely going to, and it's going to leave you a little bit more awkward. But at the final point here, Sylvie trying to do something fancy, does get the touch. It's not going to be a goal there, and Dignipaws is going to take this one. That's game 1, Dignipaws' way.
And it seems like Dignipaws is playing on form to start off, and this is what we usually notice from Dignipaws, is they always start off super hot going into these first games of the series, but as the series progresses, that we kind of have to take a look and see exactly how they're going to be able to play. See what happens here as we get into game number 2 shortly. But I gotta say, I am impressed, as Sylvie has been looking a lot more confident in these last couple of weeks, especially with their airplay. You guys know me, I do things wrong every time. But as I was saying, Sylvie, and you said this as well, Sylvie looked a little quiet during league play, but since they got that SSL tag, or that title, that rank in a couple of weeks ago, they've just been popping off, just so much confidence coming out from this player in particular, and it's been leading the charge for Dignipod, making this team even more deadly than they already were.
Yeah, and I've been raving. He's been able to do this the entire time. He just recently just decided to maybe start showing it off a little bit, which I think has been really, really fun to watch. I mean, obviously, if you're Lumosity, you're not having fun watching this at all. But for the rest of us that are just here on the sidelines, this has been, it's been great to see Sylvie absolutely popping off. Like I said at the beginning of the league, Sylvie's a player that has always scared me. Has been a very fun teammate to have in those moments, especially in threes. Someone that can really just take the ball and then just do something with it almost every single time. And in these moments where you really have to rely on everyone to be in lockstep, it can be really, really frustrating to deal with a player that just every time he touches the ball, it tends to be somewhat towards your net. And though it is game 1, obviously we did expect this one to at least go to game 4. I don't think any of us expected this to be a sweep. So Lumosity, you're trying to maybe take some regain some of this control. You didn't really have any sort of offensive pressure in that first game. There's a few opportunities, but they really came off of beats and counterattacks, not really any sort of offensive pressure long term. No real momentum. There's an opportunity there, but it's not going to go anywhere towards the net, unfortunately, for them. They might have a read, but doesn't get the touch, and then Levi's not going to be able to get there either. Gets it off to the side, but again, Lumosity not really able to continue that offensive pressure as Alex is not going to get to that boost, and that's just going to go back the other way. Sylvie's going to be able to control that, and I've seen a little bit of flares here from Lumosity, their ability to have some offensive pressure, but they really have not been connecting here.
You can see Avid going for the bump play on Sylvie, and that might be what Lumosity needs just to find a little bit of space to get some pressure in. As Infernal going to get this save, it goes over to Sylvie, just Levi in the back line, but they hit it to a well-placed spot in the corner. Keeps it away from any attacking opportunities from the Dignipod offense. Now Avid having to play this in the corner, just playing it patient against Nova. Big clear out from Sylvie, but that's just going to go straight to Aerolax and long clear downfield. Now, can you find an offensive opportunity if you're Lumosity? No, it doesn't look like it is Infernal. Just going to go and steal that corner boost again, and this might be a chance of Nova going to have an open net and gets the first score for Dignipods 2 minutes in.
That's so awkward here. Alex getting that boost stolen as well, and Avid also on 0. Alex having to go all the way to the other corner just to get boost, but that means that Alex is not in the play to make any sort of defensive stop there, and that's kind of what Dignipods has been doing a really good job of. We've seen that a few times where they've been stealing that boost as Infernal just going to absolutely dunk Levi for that second goal, and does not look like Dignipods is letting their foot off the gas here. That is such an awkward position for Levi to be in, and Infernal realizes that immediately. Just plays that so well. Make sure that that one goes in. If you're Lumosity here, you really need to start making some changes in your approach here. You gotta start getting a little bit more control of your boost here. Not really only going for those big pads, because if you're up against Dignipods, they're just stealing all of them. Maybe some more pad pathing, maybe some more closer tight-knit rotations, as that's an unfortunate miscommunication there is going to lead to a missed opportunity a little bit. So that dive, I think, took away their ability to have a really decent follow-up, and this one's just going to go back the other way, back to the blue half, and Lumosity is going to need to start over yet again. Just about halfway through this game to go, though. It's more than enough time to get 2 goals, but they're really going to start putting some pressure on here soon.
We're seeing some pressure coming out right now from Aerolax, and that's going to be exactly what Luminosity needs. Lumosity. I'm sorry, I couldn't talk there. I was shocked by this absolute goal from Aerolax, just bullying his way into the box and just gets the extra touch on it. No one expecting that to get past Sylvie. That's going to be a really good start for Lumosity, but they're going to need to find another in the next 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And this defense from Dignipods has been so good lately. Gonna have to wonder if that's even possible, especially if they start running towards your net once again. That's gotta be a scary sight for anyone on the team. Now Aerolax does get that corner boost, maybe prioritizing that a little bit more. As we have said, Dignipod's been stealing those over and over, and Sylvie tries to steal this off of Infernal for a play. Now a shot down from Nova, and that's perfectly placed to the side. 3-1 Dignipods.
Oh, that's got to be absolutely heartbreaking. It's a really well-placed shot. Avid no boost, just a prayer and nothing in the tank. And Levi gonna just hope there with no momentum, just has to hope that the shot doesn't go off to the side. But Like I said earlier before this match, anyone on this Dignipaw's team really can be their primary shooter. They don't have anyone that is their main shot taker. Nova's done a really good job all season for this Dignipaw's team of kind of being there to take those shots when needed. They've done a really good job of it. Now another example of that, giving that 2-goal lead back to Dignipaw's. Luminosity, this has to be a little bit tilted, and you really haven't had much opportunities, and every time you really get that push forward, you're getting beat to it, and then you're getting scored on. That's gotta be frustrating for just about anyone to deal with. I know Airlax is probably not having a good time as he gets demoed for his efforts, and Sylvie with full boost is just going to take control of this, and that's more time off the clock, as even with this one going the other way, as Nova might take a shot there, goes for the doubles, not going to be there for it, but that doesn't matter. They still have that 2-goal lead, and we're just about to hit a minute. Luminosity not really able to do much here, as they're just getting beat here to most of these challenges. Every single one of these missed challenges is just more time off the clock.
And Avid trying to find a way out. It just keeps getting cleared back into the attacking third for Dignipods. Now a chance here. It's a little bit too greedy from Dignipods, and Airlax does find this one. Avid with a really good 50, knocking Sylvie back into their own corner. Airlax in the perfect position to get this one. 41 seconds, so there's still a chance for Luminosity to come back here. But they're going to need to find a way past this kickoff. Going to go up to Avid. Going to try and pass it down midfield, but there's not going to be anyone there for Luminosity, and that's just going to allow Dignipaw's to just stall more and more time on this attacking third. You can see Sylvie not even going for a touch near goal, just going for that time stall. Gonna have to see if that's enough. Looks like Infernal clearing it midfield. Gonna get another long clear here. Sylvie with the bump on Airlax, but it's not gonna find anything. Nova putting it forward. Infernal looking for the shot. It's gonna be Airlax and Avid in the front here. Sylvie with the clear, and it's going to be past all of Luminosity. They have to keep it alive, but they're not going to be able to. Dignipaw's go to match point, and once again, we didn't think a sweep was going to happen in our last series, and it did. We might be getting another one here today, Docky.
Yeah, and that's got to be so frustrating. You could tell a little bit of that desperation. Airlax trying to hit that one mid in the last seconds there, but no one on the side of Luminosity in that position to move that ball forward. And that's kind of been, unfortunately for Luminosity, the kind of name of the game for them. They've had opportunities where they've hit it mid, but then they don't have anyone there, either whether it's a lack of boost or just a lack of positioning. It's caused them to just stall out in the midfield. And again, if you're Luminosity, it's got to be frustrating. You've had some opportunities, you've had a couple goals here, but they haven't really felt like they've come from really good team plays. It's just kind of been outplays, as we see this goal from Airlax going. Kind of an example of that. Airlax is a very good player and is able to do those, but you really need more than just that. If you want to beat a team like Dignipaw's, it's going to take more than just these outplays. You're going to need to start taking possession and taking control here in the midfield. You really do not want to be ceding that sort of momentum over to Dignipaw's, because they are going to take it and they are going to run away with it at Mach 10 speed, as they've done so far in this series. I'd love to see, though, if Luminosity is able to make that change.
Yeah, and we do have a little bit of a pause here. Avid restarting his game, saying that he has some frame drops, so we're just going to be waiting for him to be back in the lobby. I think he is joining right now, so we will have that next game going for you guys quickly, but this is going to be a very tough spot for Luminosity. Gonna have to find some way to get through this Dignipaw's team, who is looking very, very strong right now. Dignipaw's keep playing like this, I would expect to see them in that top seed sooner rather than later. But Docky, what do you think needs to change here?
I mean, like I was saying, it's possession game, really. We have opportunities where they're trying to go for these passing plays, but they're just not connecting. And not even off by a little bit, they're off by a lot of bit. And and there's been parts of it where, like I said, they're getting the boost stolen from them, so that's got to be frustrating, right? That, you're kind of, when you play Rocket League, right, you're kind of used to running and getting the big beans, and that's kind of your default. But when you really need to start making that mind adjustment to, okay, now they're stealing all of the big pads, you're not able to get any of them. Now you really need to start padding hard, making sure you conserve that boost so that you have it when needed. So it's kind of been hurting, I think, this Luminosity team just a little bit more than I think they would like it to be. So yet again, 2 players on basically 0 boost here. Airlox is going to have to control this one very carefully. At this point, Airlox is that last person that is really able to do much with it, but Airlox using all of the boost to get to that one. It does get that corner boost, so we get such a good touch there that forces them to kind of respect that, lay off of it a little bit. Does do or this was, well, I guess it's win or go home here for both teams really. As if Dignipause does win this, they do move over to the playoffs. For Luminosity, though, you definitely want to have that reverse sweep. They were able to do it last week. Let's see if they're able to do it again this one.
One thing I've noticed, maybe a little bit of a card change for Levi going into the Fennec. Don't really think we've seen a lot of Fennec play coming out from Levi. Usually it's either Dominus or Batmobile, but maybe that flat hitbox just not doing it for them in this series. Gonna see if maybe more of a higher hitbox will be beneficial for him. Now Sylvie going to miss his ball a little bit, and as I've said multiple times, even in just this series, this is where you start taking a look at Dignipause, because we usually see them take their foot off the gas a little bit, especially after getting into these 2-0 situations. Also, Sylvie missed the ball a little bit. Will that be happening more and more as this series progresses? Only time will tell, but they do get this one past Aerolax. Levi going to have to be here to clear it. A minute 30, a minute 40 even has passed, and no goals just yet. So a bit slower pace than we've seen from our previous games. Now Sylvie getting the flip reset, getting it over, but too strong of a touch. They're not going to be able to confirm a goal with that one, but it was a very nice shot chance from Dignipause.
And you gotta be happy about that one not going in if you're Luminosity. You really need to be the one doing the majority. Well, you do need to be the one doing the majority of the scoring. That's just how Rocket League works, I guess. But you want to be the one doing the majority of the offense, I will say, in this one. Again, Dignipause, if they have those offensive opportunities and they have more of them than you, they've shown just the series alone that they're a team that will take full advantage of it. Might go for a redirect, does not get a touch, unfortunately, though. Now we'll see possession over to Dignipause. They do have an opportunity here. Sylvie, not enough boost to really do too much with it. Will they be able to get anything out of this? Infernal gets a touch up. Aerolax will be up for the challenge, but that's just going to bounce into the corner, and yet again, really nothing much to show for it. So that's a big miss from Nova. There might be an opportunity if Avid's be able to get past Infernal, but is not. A lack of boost here from the side of Dignipause. This might be an advantage for Luminosity, but they're just kind of stalling out, which gives time to Dignipause to regain that boost. Kind of a missed opportunity there from the side of Luminosity. Unfortunately, taking their time a little bit too long. So it is 0-0, and kind of had some high-scoring games, Faye, but this one remains nil.
Just seems like Luminosity is trying to find an outplay, a really good 50 on Sylvie, just trying to get it past that main attacking force of Dignipause before they actually go for a real full-on chance here. They need to try and find the perfect opportunity, but unfortunately for them, that's kind of exactly what Dignipause wants, because their high level of aggression is just put the ball against the backboard enough and it's going to go into the back of the net as long as you keep giving them chances. And you're going to need to try and adopt that sort of style of play. If you want to beat Dignipause, you've got to outshoot them so you can find some sort of opportunity, make them awkward on that ball. It's going to be awkward coming out for Luminosity. Luckily for them, Parallax was in the right spot. Now that's not going to be the best touch from Infernal. Sylvie creeping up right behind them. Pass out to Aerolax, but it's going to be saved away. Just Levi in the back. This ball bounces high, which is unfortunate for Dignipause. They could have had an open net opportunity off of that just there. Now Aerolax over to Avid. Avid almost past Sylvie, but Sylvie with the jump just in time. That was a crucial one. Levi over to the corner. Gonna be back into the midfield with 30 seconds remaining.
Man, that's gotta be so frustrating for Luminosity. They just cannot get any offense going. They've had some looks, but just not able to get past that first man even. Relays it to go into the corner. They're trying to go for that redirect and does get a good touch, but Sylvie's gonna be there. Airlight's a massive miss. That was a huge opportunity. Luminosity definitely gonna want that back, as I don't think Sylvie had the read there with the squishy save. One more opportunity until we go to an overtime. You do not want to lose this one. in regulation. Nova gets it up to the air. Sylvie's going to be there, does not get a touch, and we have overtime. Game 3, 0-0. Let's not do 11 minutes, 20 seconds again, please.
Dignipod's going to want to end this early. Playoffs point on the line here for Dignipods. They get the next goal. They are the first seed, and they get a bye week to relax, but Lumimosity not going to go out without a fight. Airlax tries to take that over to the corner. Now it's over to Avid, who gets dunked by Sylvie. Levi going to be in the air. A good touch. Back over to Avid, who clears it back to Airlax. That was actually a really smart play. Not wanting to give any possession over to Dignipause. That's a tough bounce, though. And Avid is going to have to take this under. Gets past Infernal. Sylvie now waiting in the wings. Plays the low ball almost past Sylvie, but they play the recovery well. No goal opportunity just yet for Lumimosity, but it looks like they're pushing with a newfound aggression.
Yeah, and there's been some opportunities, but nothing really much to show for it. That's got to be a little bit frustrating. They've had some looks, but just not really able to get that final push. You got to deal with Sylvie, who even on 0 boost is able to press the issue, and that's a big miss. Is going to get possession of Sylvie. Airlex cuts it off quickly, but Infernal will just be able to land on this ball, take possession right back for them. And this is kind of the struggle they've been having. They've been able to get it past one, but it's just landing directly in the arms of Dignipause.
Oh,
Sylvie going for the shot, and it's going to be a shot. Of course it is. Sylvie makes this one a sweep.
And like, you have to see it coming when they go off at the back, off the ceiling like that. You know they're going to go for a shot. They've been getting every single goal going forward this entire series, and they end this day very quickly with another sweep on the board. Dignipause going to be your #1 seed moving into playoffs here in 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness. I mean, this is what I was talking about. You have to deal with a peaking Dignipause who's been kind of coasting. You know, that LeBron James Lacoste of the low rest that we've seen, you know, all of the season, and then they've just turned on the Jets here in the Swiss. It's been ridiculous to see them play as well as they've been playing so far. And Dignipause getting that 3-0, which means they get a few weeks to just relax and continue to play their game. And for Lumimosity now, they're 2-1, but they're a pretty decent 2-1. Although I think getting the sweep will put them a little bit lower in that game differential. But regardless, they're not out of it yet. All they need is one more win, and I think Dignipause will come back from this one hungry. Or
Yeah,
Lumimosity will come back from this one hungry. What did I say?
I am sure they will, and they still have a chance to get that top 2 seed, but they're going to have a fight against them, as we actually, thanks to Firestreak, who may or may not be back at the moment, he has calculated the matches for this next week. So Fire, would you like to go ahead and let us know what those matches are going to be for round 4?
Sure, I can do that. By surprise, that loss by Lumimosity is going to actually put them all the way down to only the 4th strongest 2-1 team, right below Gentlepause. And that is going to cause the 2-1 matchups to be X3 Tactics versus Lumimosity. And then the second 2-1 game is going to be a caster battle between Awoptic Gaming versus Gentlepause. So, Docky, I'll be seeing you next week.
Let's go.
It's gonna be great. But our mixed game is, in fact, going to be Fox Clan versus Black Bunny Gaming. Then for the 1 and 2 games, we're going to have Claude9 versus Big Dragon Squad, and Progen Rebellion versus Twisted Tales.
All right, well, it's been a great league, everyone. I've had such fun playing, but this next week is going to be really tough. If BDS is coming back with that sort of firepower, that's going to be a tough match for my team to win. However, I have faith in my team. It's going to be the 4th seed coming in versus the 3rd seed coming in the lower rounds. May the best team win. Good luck to BDS on that one. We've got some interesting matchups for sure. Virgin Rebellion versus Twisted Tales, that's going to be good. Fox Clan having to play another mixed matchup is kind of insane. And I mean, X3 Lumimosity, that one's going to go insane. And as you said, caster battle, with Awoptic versus Genopause, winner moving into playoffs. That you love to see that for our casters. I'd hate to see it if it was an elimination matchup, but to have it be a win and move to playoffs, that's feel good Rocket League right there. I'm so excited for round 4. And of course, guys, as I said, round 4 and round 5 will both be played next week. So Saturday is going to be our round 4 matchup. So you will see all 5 of these matches on that one day. And if Black Bunny Gaming beats Fox Clan in that mixed matchup, they are going to move ahead with Fox Clan to round 5 and will have another extra match going into round 5. That being said, the teams are getting smaller and smaller. The amount of teams we have, it's now down to 10 teams. Only 5 more spots remaining for playoffs. These matches are about to get a lot more intense. I'm so excited for all of this to come to a head this next weekend while we finish off Swiss. And we're only 2 weekends away from our playoff bracket. It's going to be so exciting. I hope you all are excited as well. I hope you guys join us for all of those games. But I don't think we have much more to do here, Docky. I think that's going to be the end of the day here. Is there anything else that either you or Firestreak want to say as we close off the day?
GG's.
I think the only thing I would have to say, Fade, is elaborating a little bit on that. Currently, for that second bye, we have 3 teams in contention for it currently, and that's X3 Tactics, Awoptic, and Genopause, who are all in contention for that bye week in playoffs. I'm sure all 3 of those teams are going to be fighting their hardest to try to snag that, and since that was a sweep, that will take Lumosity not entirely out of contention for it, but they're going to need a lot of things to go their way in order for them to grab that. But yeah, that's all I have.
Yeah, I think we'll have to see. Docky, what do you think about this next week?
I'm excited. Fire, you better start hitting the trading packs because I'm coming hard.
We would expect nothing less, Docky.
All I'm going to say is Ayo and RFDL After Dark is every Saturday. Join in, guys. But that was an excellent day of Rocket League, guys. It's a very short one, only having 2 matches and both of them ending in sweeps, but that's just what you get sometimes. Hopefully, we'll have some very exciting matches coming out next week. But that's it for us for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. We will see you guys next Saturday to end off our Swiss stage and get ready for playoffs. It's only a couple weeks left in this league. Let's end it with a bang. We will see you guys on Saturday for round 4.
See you guys later.
See you later, everyone. Docky's losing.